Hi, and welcome to the 3.2 Unit Conversion Notes. You're going to take notes in your engineering notebook and complete activity 3.2. Alright, so these notes are about converting units. So the first thing we want to kind of ask ourselves is, what is a conversion factor? Well, the word conversion means to change, and factor, when we're talking about math terms, which is what we're talking about, factor for all intents and purposes means multiply. Okay, so we're going to multiply something by the conversion factor, and it's going to change what you started out with. So that's basically what we're doing. All right, so let's do a couple of examples. Okay, so first of all, they're just asking us to use this table to kind of figure out how you would figure out what the equivalencies are between things. So this one's asking you to write an equation. So remember, equation means equal sign. That shows the equivalency between, we have meters and we have gigameters. Okay, remember, meters is our base unit. So you've got meters, and you've got kilometers, decameters, millimeters, centimeters. Whether or not you're getting larger or smaller, meters is that essential unit that you start with. Okay, so we're going from meters to gigameters. So basically what we want to look at is we want to look at this part of our chart. Okay, so this is basically saying that a gigameter, so 1 gigameter, is equal to 10 to the 9th meters. That's what that means. It means that 1 gigameter is equal to 10 to the 9th meters. Okay, that is our equation. Now, a conversion factor is a ratio. So you can write that two ways. You can either write 1 gigameter over 10 to the 9th meters, or you can write 10 to the 9th meters over 1 gigameter. Either one of those works. It just depends on what you're trying to convert to or from. Okay? Alright, so let's do some examples. And you've seen this for the most part, just maybe in a different form in either your math classes or your science classes. Alright, so we want to do, and I meant to erase this one, so we're not going to do this one, so you can skip that one. Okay, so we're going to do 6.3 yards to feet. Alright, so first thing you want to look at is that we're going from feet to yard, or from yards to feet, and then we know that we're trying to change this. So my suggestion is you take what you're changing, so we're changing 6.3 yards, and you're going to put that over 1. Okay, and then we're changing to feet. So we look over here on our chart and we see that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. Alright, so we're going to multiply it by our conversion factor. Now the key here is that if you have yards on top, you want to have yards on bottom as well, because what's going to happen is that if you have two units over each other, they cancel each other out. Okay, so we know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. Okay, so now what happens is our yards cancel, and all we're left now is feet, so we know that we're doing it correctly. So we take our 6.3 and multiply it, so we take 6.3 and multiply it by 3, and we get 18.9, and then we have feet. So this is going to be our final answer. Okay, let's do another one. Alright, so now we're going to do 0.55 feet to inches. So we're going from feet to inches, so we know we're going from 0.55 feet over 1, and we're going to use our conversion factor of inches and feet, and it's not on this chart, but we know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. Okay, so remember, we have to match our units. So if we have feet on top, we need feet on the bottom because we're getting rid of feet, and we need inches up here. So 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. Now before you start multiplying, feet cancel, then we have 0.55 times 12 inches, which gives us 6.6 inches. That's our final answer. Alright, so our next one, we've got 9 feet and 2.5 inches, and we're taking the whole thing to inches. So we're just going to deal with 9 feet first. So we have 9 feet over 1 multiplied by 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. All right, same thing. Feet cancel, feet cancel. When you do 9 times 12, excuse me, you get 108 inches. But don't forget, we still have this right here, so we're going to add 2.5 inches. So that gives us 110.5 inches. Okay? Alright, so we're changing 3 feet 5 inches into decimal feet. So we already have that 3 feet, so we're just going to leave that just 3 feet. But we want to change the 5 inches into feet basically. And we know that 5 inches is less than 1 foot, so obviously it's going to be a decimal. So we've got our 5 inches, and we're going to change that to feet. So remember, our inches are going to go on the bottom, and we have our feet on top. Okay, so we know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. Okay, so then when we multiply across, what happens is our inches go away, and we end up with 5/12 of a foot. Okay, now in order to get that into a decimal, we're going to have to multiply. So, divide. So we're going to do 5 divided by 12, which is equal to 0.4, and it doesn't say to round it, round to the nearest hundredth, so 42 feet. So we're going to take our 3 feet and we're going to add 0.42 feet, and that gives us 3.42 feet, which if you think about it, 5 inches is less than a half, right, of a foot, and 0.42 is less than a half as well. All right, so now we're going to go from centimeters to inches. So we're going to be looking right here, centimeters to inches. Okay, so we're doing 59.2 centimeters over 1, and we're going to change it to inches. So remember, you want your centimeters on the bottom, so that means our inches are on top. And our conversion factor says that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. The centimeters cancel, so we end up with 59.2 divided by 2.54, which gives us 23.3 inches. Okay? Alright, let's go on to the next one. Alright, so here we're going from yards to inches. So when we're doing this, you kind of have to ask yourself, when you're going along your progression, from yards, the most natural progression is to feet, and then from feet to inches. Okay, you can do more than one thing at a time. Okay, so let's try that. So we're going to start at yards. So we've got 3.2 yards over 1. Okay, now we want to change it to feet. So we want our yards on the bottom, remember, because we want them to cancel, and our feet up top. And if we look at our conversion factor, 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So 3 feet, and that's 1 yard. Okay, but now we want to go from feet to inches. So our feet's going to be up here on the bottom, and then our inches on top. So 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. Now the way that you can tell that you're doing it correctly is that you know you're going from yards to inches. So you want to end up with only inches left over. So you go through, if you've got a unit of measure that's on the numerator and the denominator, they cancel. So this yard cancels that yard. The numbers don't cancel, just the unit of measure. That feet cancels with that feet. So all you're left now is 3.2 times 3 times 12, and then inches. And when you do that math, you end up with 115 inches. Okay? Okay, and this last one, I wasn't going to do this one either, but I'll just do it so that you guys can have it. If you're taking 350 billion nanoliters and changing them to decaliters, you would do the 350 billion nanoliters over 1 multiplied by our conversion factor, which is 1 deciliter is equal to 10 to the 10th nanoliters. And when you divide those, you get 0.035 deciliters. Like I said, some of these ones that are on here we're not going to be dealing with. I'm going to give you a preview. So anyways, now what you're going to do is you're going to complete activity 3.2, the unit conversions in your engineering notebook. So I kind of gave you a visual here so that there's no questions on what you're supposed to be doing. So you should have, right, actually let me use my cool pointer here. Okay, so you should have this put in your notebook, even if you haven't done it now. It's just the conversion charts, so you have them handy. Okay, then on your, after you've taken your notes, then on your next clean sheet of paper, you're going to show your work for the activity, which is 3 questions and then conclusion questions, like I have here. And then the sheet that I gave you, which is right here, you're going to tape that on top of your work. So when you open your notebook, you're going to see this sheet all the way down, and when you lift it up, your work will be underneath. Alright, let me know if you guys have any questions or if the video wasn't clear, and good luck on the rest of your work. Thanks.